clash of unbeaten leaders, Melbourne and Essendon, sees the heavyweight bout between the teams who last week beat last year's grand finalists. The Bombers will start favourites, but the Demons have added firepower, with Darren Bennett kicking 16 goals in the first 2 weeks. And Collingwood against Sydney Swans. The Pies, inspired by Peter Dacos, finished all over Carlton last week, but the Swans have a better record than most visitors recently at Victoria Park.
Melbourne have had their chances to be further in front. Essendon hanging in there. O'Dwyer doing well against Salmon. Now Stephen Clark with his great pace was grabbed when he didn't have it. That's good play, but it went straight to Watson. Watson a hurried kick to half forward. Manning in after it for the Bombers, the former St Kilda player. And players dragged off the ball. And the umpire said, oh, that's a very, very iffy free kick, that one. But it's been paid and will go to Brendan Moore. He's at half forward for the Bombers. Now he's kicking it high. Hughes at the back. Didn't take the mark. Neil Danaher was there. Spalding's doing well in defence. A long kick to centre wing. One-on-one contest. Well done by Andrew Obst over the back. Mark Thompson's going to run into 3 Melbourne players. Obst in after it again. Shuffles it out to Lovett. That was good football. Lovett to Wilson. Wilson running around onto his right foot. Hooks it back to half forward. And Obst is down there now. Oh, that is good football by the South Australian. A poor kick, though, to half forward. Watson put under pressure by Campbell. Obst again. Beautiful play to Steins. Steins on to Lovell. Lovell straightens up and taps it through for a champagne football goal. That one. Well, Melbourne hit the front again. 6-3-39 to Essendon 5-3-33. They lead by a goal.
Yes, that was great play by Melbourne. I particularly impressed there by Tony Campbell. He put a lot of pressure on Tim Watson. Good knock there to Jimmy Steins and ends up with an easy goal to Lovell running into the goal. But they did all the hard work earlier with tremendous team play and backing up.
Andrew Obst was in that play about 3 times to set up that goal. It was brilliant. Plain gets the hand pass out. Forward go the Bombers. Hand pass to Anderson. Wouldn't bounce for him. Gets a kick away under pressure, but they're only 35 metres out from goal. Kransberg loses it to Steins. Here's Salmon for Essendon. Might have taken a high tackle. No whistle, though. Gathered by Obst. Great play. He's kicked to half forward. Campbell knocks to the back. Great football. It comes to Clark. He's grabbed when he didn't have it. Free kick to Stephen Clark.
How did he get rid of it, though, Drew? Was he in possession of the ball? Did he handball it out, or did he throw it out in front of him?
No, I think there was no doubt about it. I think he just knocked it on, Bernie. He's quick.
Essendon lead by a goal, and Clark, kicking from just on 50 metres, can make it 2. Good distance. Great kick, but hits the post.
(6-4 to 5-3). They lead by 7 points, Melbourne. And Stephen Clark, one of the quickest players in the game. And he'll be an acquisition to Melbourne. This is Manning, receiving from Anthony Danaher. Now he runs to the half-back line. He kicks long. Neil Danaher marks on centre wing. Great to even see him playing the game still, Neil Danaher. Over to Thompson. Number of knee injuries. O'Donnell. Back to Anderson, who's been quiet. Greg Anderson centres it to half forward. Newport at the back. Sock it away. Out towards half-back line. Obst seems to be everywhere. He's covering that much territory. It's grabbed out there by Buick in front of the Melbourne member stand. Ducks back into the play. Wilson read it well. The hand pass was smothered. Newport brought the ground. Now Buick's brought the ground. The umpire said was holding the man. And Long gave Phoebe a little clip across the ear at half forward.
It's been a great exhibition of tackling from both sides so far.
This is a finals type atmosphere, finals type game. A shocking kick by Buick. As it comes to half forward, a chance for Neil Danaher. Lovely hand pass to Kransberg, an open goal. And Peter Kransberg has slammed it through. Essendon hit back. They only trail now by 1 point.
And Neil Danaher has been moved up on the forward line, playing either in the forward pocket or in the half-forward flank. And I think Kevin Sheedy was a little bit worried about his lack of pace on the back line, but he did it very well there. spinning out the handball to Kranzberg, and Kranzberg making the most of that good play from Neil Danaher.
It was great to see Neil Danaher in there giving the final hand pass. A 29-year-old with just 76 games. If he hadn't been injured, he'd be well over 200. Neil Danaher playing just his 5th game in 5 years. Wilson bursts out of the centre, shrugs the high tackle. Chance here, Clark marks. And Stephen Clark this time a bit closer than his last kick, which hit the post. This time he'll be kicking from inside 50. 1 point the margin, Melbourne in front. Clark would love a goal against his old team. Will it make it? Well, they flew everywhere, but it's a goal. Seven points the margin.
Yeah, it's a top game here at the MCG. The kick from Stephen Clark again from just inside the 50-metre line. Essendon players went everywhere. Maybe the goal umpire knocked him out of the way. Well, he's a handy player. Plenty of pace, Stephen Clark. His first goal, and Melbourne looking very good.
Oh, this is a great game of football to watch. Goal for goal at the moment. Plenty of pressure. Anderson beautifully to Watson. Watson on the left foot, smothered by Denny Hughes. As O'Donnell goes in after it at the 50-metre line, hooks it back in front of goal. A one-on-one contest. It's back towards Plain, off the ground. Bradley Plain. Oh, what a brilliant goal. The player that Collingwood let go has brought Essendon closer. 7-3-45 the Bombers. Melbourne 7-4-46. 1 point the margin.
That's Bradley Plain's second goal. Again, great tackling there, set up by Michael Long, the leading tackler in the competition after the second round. The long kick into the forward line. Here's Bradley Plain. A real goal sneak, getting his foot on that one, not worrying about picking it up, kicking it off the ground. And an excellent goal for Essendon.
What a game we have at the MCG. This one comes to Manning. Back to Salmon. Short pass. Out in front of Terry Danaher. The hand pass goes back to Long. He's outside 50 metres. Michael Long balks to Danaher. Beats a tackle. Well played, Long. Into Salmon. Salmon dodges and weaves and goes long. Way off the side of his boot. Buick is there. One hand to it. And it's seen over the boundary line. Great desperation by Yates. And we'll have a throw in about 5 metres around from the behind post. What a game. Match of the days this season have been fizzes, really. This has lived up to everything. Hand pass is good to Phoebe. Comes out to Wilson. Wilson wide with his kick. Obst. Oh, gets rid of his opponent well. Andrew Obst has been sensational. Off the ground, into open space. More off the ground, too far. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Campbell. Leading is Bennett. Underneath the ball. At the back is Clark. Down he goes in the tackle. He was legged, says the umpire, and the free is right in front.
Well, it was clever play by Clark, Bernie, because he did punch it on in front of himself.
Oh, that's twice he's done that. He got a free kick earlier. He knew he was about to be tackled. And just a very... Yes, he did handball that, Pete, and then he was dragged down.
And Brendan Moore was the one who kicked out of bounds on the full and then gave away the free kick for the tackle. And Clark makes him pay for it. Again out to a lead of 7 points.
Position of football. There's O'Dwyer doing well against Salmon. O'Donnell to Spalding. Spalding in after it again. Neil Danaher now. Wilson playing well. To half forward. Clark. Oh, well done by Stephen Clark. No mark, the umpire said. Melbourne supporters not liking that. Mark Thompson. Out wide, finds O'Brien. O'Brien short to Watson. Watson on centre wing, trying to get onto his left foot. Now he elects to hand pass. The man was covered. That wasn't good play by Tim Watson. And the free kick has been given away by Andrew Obst. To Moore. Brendan Moore this is. Started on interchange. To half forward. Manning in front of the pack. Over the back is Anderson. Anderson, a quick kick at the goals. Madden traps it now. Can he get round Hughes? Dragged down. Did he have the ball? How will the umpire see it? Umpire calls play on. Bradley Plain. Great tackle by Stretch. Anderson in after it, and it's forced to the line and over. And Simon Madden going mad at the umpire. Play It should have been holding the man. A very, very grey area, that one. Was he in control or was he not? Simon Madden going now in to do the ruck work against O'Dwyer, who's been very impressive. Down the ground it goes. Forward pocket, Gary Lyon in defence. Runs to the boundary line, then chips it around. Further afield it comes to Tingay. Tingay received then from Brett Lovett, who was the man who took that mark. Oh, Clark ran into all sorts of trouble. Grabbed by Mark Thompson, who sends it forward again for the Bombers.
Spalding climbs high, but higher even is Stretch. And Stretch takes the mark of the match today. And the crowd reacts again as they watch it on the big colour scoreboard at the MCG. Up to the centre of the ground. Fingertips to it. Comes to the back. Moore sweeps the hand pass across to Thompson. He loses it in the tackle, but it was high, says the umpire. And he penalises Tony Campbell. Mark Thompson. Back to centre half forward. Anderson's had a tough time on Spalding. At the back, Yates. High kick. Van der Haar set underneath it. Oh, what a mark by Van der Haar. Turn back the clock 10 years. Great stuff. Great hand pass away too. And that's away towards O'Brien. In front of goals. Cransberg reads it. Slung off his kick. Plain. Can't take the mark. Yates is there. Running out of room and runs it through for a behind.
Oh, that was funny, I reckon, when Plain just chested Graham Yates. Yates came back at him, nothing much in it, but quite humorous to watch from here. Danny Hughes, a great kick of a football from fullback. He's going straight up the centre. A high drop punt, travels about 60 metres. O'Dwyer trying to take that. Wilson's been a very good player. Kicks it to half forward. Campbell over the back of Steins. Let's see if the big man can control it. He can't. He's got backup support from Andy Lovell, who's caught. Could have been holding the ball. Van der Haar in after it. It's tapped backwards to Steins. Steins hand pass back over his head. Umpire now calling what? A throw.
Throw against Jimmy Steins, no doubt, Peter. No
Irish
doubt.
hand pass.
Yes, I think he did learn that one in Gaelic football. It's at half back. And the free kick will be with Mark Thompson, who's trying very, very desperately in defence, as he always does. Been a good player for Essendon. Off he goes. Thank goodness they've got rid of that rule where you're not allowed to hand pass from a free kick too, as the mark's taken by Salmon on centre wing.
And he feeds Neil Danaher. Pass is good. Oh, just had a little bit too much carry, but there was an over-the-shoulder tackle and some Bombers free kick right in front to Simon Madden. Well, he may not have expected that one as much as a couple of previous ones.
Let's have a look at that free kick against Danny Hughes there, putting the pressure on Simon Madden. Simon Madden has had only one kick up into this stage of the game, having sat on the bench for quite a bit of time.
Chance to level the scores again. Kick by Madden. Offline. Through for a behind. What a great game at the MCG. It's like finals time in April.
9 minutes of play left in this second quarter as Lyon receives that pass from Danny Hughes. Lyon, the centre wing kicker, is back on the ground. Seemed to get injured in that first quarter. This is Stretch to half forward. Steins, as Van der Haar went underneath it. That could have been a throw, that. Second throw in 2 minutes against Jimmy Steins. No doubt about that one.
It was a real Gaelic hand pass, that one.
Craig O'Brien, only a youngster, will take this kick. Half back. I know Essendon have high hopes for this player. Oh, he kicked straight to the man, Andrew Obbs. Now, here's Steins. He elected not to hand pass that time. To half forward, a chance now for Melbourne as Lovell goes in after it. Brought to ground. Did he have it? Umpire said he did. Calls play on. And now Chris Mitchell will come in and bounce.
This tackling today has been sensational from both sides.
Well, they're two very, very good sides. Certainly going to play a big part in the finals this year, I would think. The ball at half forward for Melbourne. It's taken away by O'Brien. He had no one to kick it to. Now will it stay in? It does. He tried to put it to the line. Taken by O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer's that smothered off the boot. Grabbed by Neil Danaher. Danaher turns around and feed it out wide on the right foot. He's looking there for Anderson. Spalding. Oh, good use of the body. Graham Yates tackled by Long. Play on, the umpire calls. And now he's going to come in Peter Carey and bounce it.
Mark Long, he's got claws like a lobster, Michael Long.
He hasn't had a lot of kicks himself, but gee, he does a lot of hard work off the play. 10 tackles after the first 2 rounds.
Chance here. Neil Danaher's looking a mighty player considering he's been out of the game so long. Off to Plain. Hooks it back to the goal square but won't make it. Oh, there's a mark. Manning. Tough angle for Andrew Manning. Goes for the short pass. Well, how can Salmon be unmarked in the goal square? And this should be a sitter.
Yes, defence.
Well, the Melbourne players didn't work hard enough to get down in defence. Steve O'Dwyer is the player on the ball. He should have charged down to that back pocket area and made sure he picked up Paul Salmon.
Salmon's kick 1. And now he's kicked 2, and the Bombers are in front by a point.
And that was a great mark by Andrew Manning, running with the flight of the ball over Danny Hughes. As we watch Paul Salmon kicking his 2nd goal for the match, has been a useful player in the ruck and very dangerous when he goes up on that forward line, because he's with his height, he can take great marks, his accuracy. Bit of a mark across his neck there, so it's been a pretty torrid match for him so far.
John Northey on the phone, and would be a little bit concerned because they've had plenty of the play, Melbourne, and yet Essendon lead by a point. A very evenly contested match this, both with good rucks, both with a lot of skillful medium-sized play. There's Madden trying to crash his way through, and he ended up with a free kick out of that. Well, he's very lucky to get that. He just charged the Essendon player as he goes, the Melbourne player, as he goes short, and the mark has been taken by Gary Lyon. And Gary Lyon at half back, he went for the big booming torp, slightly off the side. That's nearly a mark that to Lovell. Umpire didn't think so. There's O'Dwyer to Newport, ridden into the ground. Newport again back to O'Dwyer, then Newport again. Van der Haar on the half-back line, might be brought down here. Quickly gets in the hand pass. Obbs tried to tap it on. Now it's Bradley Plain, who's improved out of sight. And I can't believe how Collingwood let this player go from Tony Elshaw, but he's proving a good player for Essendon. Half forward, O'Dwyer against Madden, and O'Dwyer is certainly under the coaching of former Hawthorn champion Don Scott. He and Steins really have improved in the ruck department. Here's Bennett, and the umpire's paying a free kick to Bennett, 45 metres out from goal.
Over the shoulder, he's indicating.
I tell you what, it was a bit ticky touch with Bernie.
Well, they don't usually play those in the full forwards either, Pete. They don't look after all that well.
No, it's good to see. Let's have a look at it in replay, Bernie.
Bennett out in front, Danaher behind. And maybe very lucky, I'd say, to get that free kick.
He was lucky. A long kick, Bennett, for his 2nd goal. Will it float in? No, it drifts away. So bad luck to Bennett. And now the scores again are level. We're seeing a great exhibition of Australian rules football. Drew?
I'm surrounded by 2 full forwards who never got a free kick in their lives, did they?
Not many, Drew.
We both should have got more, Drew.
Anthony Danaher, beautiful kick of the football. 70 metres that one. Flips to the back, comes to Yates. Everybody's under pressure for getting a possession. Manning. He came into the Essendon side for the finals last year and started pretty well. Gave it away that time to Yates. Yates up towards inside half forward, and Van der Haar takes an easy defensive mark. 53 points apiece with 4.5 minutes remaining in the 2nd quarter. Kick by Van der Haar. Good mark in front to Steins. Now kick it, Jim. Don't hand pass. Hoisted up high. O'Dwyer or Bennett? O'Dwyer!
What a game he's playing.
Yes, he's been an excellent player, big Steve O'Dwyer. He's already kicked 2 goals. And under no pressure there. Simon Madden not getting back and manning up.
3 marks. 6 kicks and a hand pass to O'Dwyer, as well as 2 goals and hit outs as well. Right in front, 45 metres out. And that's number 3. Melbourne lead lead by that kick. 6 points. Ah.
Yes, that was a great mark by Darren Bennett. Very tall player, 6'5", in front, had the right position, a bit of bustling, timed his leap perfectly.
So Darren Bennett, who kicked 8 and 8 in the first 2 rounds, so far has 1 goal 2 from the first half. Distance not a problem for this long kicking full forward. He needs the accuracy. Oh, that's beautiful. The margin skips out to 11 points.
And they need Bennett playing well, Melbourne. Here's that mark again. 6'5". He didn't have the run on the ball. It was man on man. A great leap there by Bennett, and strong hands taking that mark. And there's that kick from 50 metres out. Made the distance easily. Went through at goalpost height. So that's Bennett's 2nd goal. He's been a good contributor.
That's exactly how John Northey would have wanted his side to start this quarter. Really lifts the side when you get a quick one like that. Here they come again. That's Stephen Clark going forward with great pace. Here's a chance now for Andrew Obbs, who's been very, very impressive. To half forward, and Wilson. Oh, courage by Wilson to Eishold. Eishold straightens up and pops through another one to the Demons. Well, what a start by Melbourne. 11-5, 71. They lead Essendon.
Brian Wilson there under heavy pressure. Could have been a free kick had not Eishold kicked that goal to Wilson, because Van der Haar tackled him very hard. But Eishold finishing off, a good kick for goal, and Melbourne winning the ball out of the centre.
The Demons 2 goals in the opening 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter. O'Dwyer palms down. Eishold missed it with a slap. Salmon, well done. Oh, beautiful play by Paul Salmon. Plain was in front, might have taken that mark. Pressure from Stretch. Plain gets the hand pass away. Spawn taps back to Plain, which probably wasn't the right option. Yates is there, over the top of the ball to force the ball up. Chance for the Bombers, 35 metres out. Stephen Clark. O'Dwyer to Spalding. Eishold. Good little hand pass. Newport kept the ball in front of him. Oh, Long, what a trap. Michael Long, brilliant. The short pass didn't come off, though, and Spalding wins again. Spalding's kick to centre wing. Obst. Well, he is doing really well. 2 marks, 13 possessions. Obst up to half forward. Hamilton in front, takes a safe mark.
Oh, good mark, too, by Paul Hamilton. Now he's got a loose man in the centre. Oh, nearly smothered them by Eishold. Still the chances with Spawn. Spawn a bounce. Lovell's after him. Spawn wide. Finds Anderson. Seems to be playing at centre forward at the moment. He goes short. Back to the centre. He's found Anthony Danaher. He's a long way out from full back. Danaher going short again. The leader's on to his brother Terry. It's a loose ball with Spalding. Lovett makes position out wide for the short one. Spalding elects to go long. Back to centre wing. And there's Anthony Danaher right up there on wing. Over to Watson. Tim Watson. Long to the pocket. At the back is Buick. Manning is there going for the mark. There's Yates. That Melbourne defence has been excellent today. Steins against Salmon, and you've got to hand it to Salmon. He is a much improved player. Trying his heart out, Salmon. The short one to Buick in the forward pocket. Buick in after it again with his pace, but he's under pressure. Out it comes to Spawn. Spawn from 30 metres straightens up and puts it out of bounds on the full.
Well, it hasn't been a great day for Kieran Spawn. 5 kicks and 1 hand pass. And 1 behind and 1 out of bounds. Stretch. Raking kick out of defence. Oh, good mark in the middle of the pack by O'Dwyer. A clean capture. Straubs O'Dwyer has played his heart out today. Over centre wing it goes. Knocked on. Good gather by Thompson. And a great hand pass out. Manning. Wide he goes to Hamilton. He centres it towards centre half forward. Obst again.
Well, Salmon shouldn't have had a look around there. He should have went for the ball instead of waiting to see what was going to happen.
Obst goes across the ground. Finds Phoebe. High and long to half forward. Big pack gathers. Lovett couldn't drag down the mark. Solid tackle applied, but it was high. An Essendon free kick, and this is coming back to Thompson.
Mark Thompson has really battled hard in defence all day. That kick to the half-forward line, plain, in after it, no backup support. Now he has from Manning. Manning goes short, a widely directed pass to Brian Wilson, who's played a great game. Over to Phoebe. Phoebe wide. He's looking out there for Lovell. Oh, good play by Andy Lovell. Runs to the 50-metre line. The short pass is on, and that is beautiful football. The lead by Bennett, hitting him right on the chest.
Yes, great play by Lovell, getting away there from Timmy Watson under a lot of pressure. And there's a perfect delivery into a wide open forward line.
He could make the big difference to Melbourne, whether they could really go on with it this year, Bennett. He's kicked 2. He'll kick from 30 metres. Straightens up and puts it right through the middle. Melbourne move further in front. 12-5-77. The Demons lead Essendon 8-6-54.
Big punch away. Here's Tim Watson for the Bombers. Fires out the hand pass to O'Donnell. Further afield he goes. Kransberg in. O'Donnell followed up. Kick smothered. O'Dwyer doing the hard work again. Gets the ball out to Yates. O'Dwyer, the hero of the MCG today. But Van der Haar takes the mark on centre wing.
Paul Van der Haar playing at centre half back. On the left foot looking for Salmon. Salmon will mark. On centre, well, getting further towards the centre. Chip pass. Finds Kransberg. A long kick normally, Peter Kransberg. Now he's going with a long one too from 60 metres. A low trajectory drop punt to the pocket. And that's clever play. Very good use of the body that by Andrew Manning. He just leant into his opponent, Graham Yates. Or was it Brett Lovett? It might have been Lovett, in fact, in front. Just leant, oh, a little push, in fact.
Just a little nudge there, Pete.
And as I said, Bradley Plain, I was surprised he's off. He's coming back on as Manning kicks it goal and pops it through for one for the Bombers.
$17 points the margin. Her off the ground. Free kick here to Kransberg. Kransberg a long kick. Terry Danaher in front. Knocked away by Lyon. Goes to Yates. Wide to Phoebe. Phoebe off the left boot. Close to the boundary line. Too high for Obst. The ball has gone out off Campbell now. And it'll be a throw-in.
Centre wing is with Watson for Essendon. Eishold hotly pressing him. Eishold in after it. Taps it back to O'Brien. Oh, a lot of pressure on there. This is kicked by Newport right out towards the boundary line. And in fact over. There's Tony Campbell. Hasn't had a lot to do so far. The ruck duels have been fascinating. Here they go again. Steins. Eventually they'd lose it out there to O'Donnell, but those Essendon players not getting any easy kicks against the Melbourne pressure. And Brian Wilson, we saw on screen a moment ago, has been a terrific player for the Demons. There's Salmon tapping it out to Wilson for Melbourne. In fact, Wilson smothered off his boot as it comes back. He just about threw that away, Salmon. And I think the umpire said exactly that. It will be a free kick going the way of Melbourne to Andrew Obst. No, it's not. It's going further afield to Brian Wilson for that throw. Wilson. 10 kicks and 5 handballs, and well, he's done a lot of the hard things. Wilson up in front of goal. Can they take another mark? It's tapped to ground. This is Paul Hamilton crashing his way through. A long hand pass out wide, and he's found Kieran Spawn.
Spawn goes for the short pass to Plain. He was only benched for about 90 seconds. Obbs taps away. Comes to Yates. Yates over the top. Stretch. Cornered. Has to go back to Yates. Now Melbourne being put under some pressure. Yates to Steins. Steins a bit of fancy footwork. To half forward. O'Dwyer tried to tap on, but Clark stayed down and took the mark. In he goes to Tingay. Further afield to Lovett. Lovett gets through the pack. Back to Newport. And Newport's kick is good. Hughes. Lovett has been magnificent. Takes his 8th mark. And what a kick to Obst. Obst on the rung on centre wing. O'Dwyer crashing between two of them. Couldn't quite take the mark. Van der Haar paddles backwards to Thompson. Great hand pass by him to Long. Long over the top. A floater to O'Donnell. Buick. Cransberg. Thought about Watson and then kicked wide to Anderson, who's given Spalding the slip for one of the few times. Kick well smothered by Steins. Spalding helps it back to Steins. Well, it looked like a certain goal or a contest in the goal square, and now Melbourne have it. Centre wing, and Eichhold holds up play.
Oh, that was great play by big Jimmy Steins there, the smother.
Eichhold's kick to half forward. Wilson leading. 60 metres from goal on the boundary line. Bennett one out with Anthony Danaher in the goal square. He's trying to offer a lead. O'Dwyer's there as well. Wilson needs a long kick in the direction of O'Dwyer. Almost. Melbourne at ground level. Tingay lost his footing. Spawn's there to help out for the Bombers. He drops it in the tackle, red hot.
Great play by Melbourne. This is tremendous pressure football, Peter.
And having a bad day, Kieran Spawn, he can't do a thing right.
It's just amazing. The Essendon players just haven't been able to get out on their own. The tackling from Melbourne has been... There it is, a free kick. Spawn just let it go. And the free kick to Lovell in front of goal.
His name's Anthony. Everyone calls him Andy. Lovell, former Tasmanian. Right in front, 35 metres out. Kicks the goal.
His 3 and Stephen Clark 2, and they've had 3 or 4 players kick singles. 14-5 to 9-7, very impressive. And that big man strength, there's one of them, Steins. That certainly helps them. Melbourne. O'Donnell could have been 50 metres then. Gary O'Donnell. Oh, good play by Bennett. Will chase after him hard. This is Mark Thompson. Caught. That's holding the ball.
Yes, definitely.
And Lovell again with terrific tackling. Bradley playing off the ground. Derek kick it on. And
Peter, good to see big Darren Bennett running down from full forward to apply tackles as well.
Terrific play. This is Newport at half forward. And another one here would make it hard for Essendon. Big O'Dwyer going back against Madden. Stephen Newport wanting someone to move to one of those spaces. And he's electing now to go the long kick. The drop punt will land it right up in the goal square. Where's O'Dwyer? There he is, centre of the pack. Tapped the ground. Kicked away by Craig O'Brien out towards the half-back line. Michael Long after it. Stephen O'Sholl beats him to it, and the ball is taken over the line about 60 metres around from goal. They've hardly had a weak link, Melbourne. They've all contributed. O'Dwyer against Madden. Madden taps it down. This is Kickett. Derek Kickett to the centre of the ground. Cransberg hugs it to his chest and takes a good mark.
Cransberg gets a good run from Thompson. Thompson off the left boot, steers it for Salmon. That's what he used to look like when he was a full forward and kicked 63 goals in 13 rounds before his knee injury.
They are a better side when he's down there at full forward, Drew.
So always they need him in the ruck as well, don't they?
Well, they have got Simon Madden, of course.
Paul Salmon has kicked 2, both in the second quarter. Do the Bombers need this? Magnificent kick, but a poster. (14-5 to 9 goals 8). And in this quarter, Essendon have kicked just 1-2, and Melbourne have added 5 goals straight.
Gary Lyne straight up the centre. Madden and Anderson competing against each other. A hand pass from Melbourne player Wilson went straight to O'Donnell for Essendon, out towards Buick. The bounce beats him and is grabbed by Stretch. Stretch cleverly round the boundary line, just where he intended that ball to go, and puts it over the line, almost on centre wing.
That's been a good move by Melbourne, playing Stretch in the back line, because he does provide a lot of run out of there with his long kicking.
Winter on, getting the roars of the Melbourne supporters. Tony Campbell off. Oh, Madden, a clever hit out to Manning. Manning looking for the hand pass. He's found Kickett. Now will it sit for him? Now he's got it, Derek Kickett, onto the right foot. Sets it up in front of goal. The height is there of Salmon over the back. Danny Hughes is there. He's got back up support from Lyon. Beautiful defensive play by Melbourne. The chip pass finds Lovett, nearly the best man on the ground. Lovett, the centre wing kicker, takes a position in front, and a good mark by Derek Kickett. The hand pass to Danaher, who was caught. Over to Watson, off the ground to half forward. Here's Michael Long. Let's see what he can do with it. Oh, look at that. Great play, Michael Long. Then a little chip pass. Terrific play by Stretch. Right out wide to the boundary line. Here's Watson, hooking it back to the pocket. And that could be no, it was out of bounds. In fact, around near that where Tim Watson is. So it'll be a throw-in.
Well, this one really important for Melbourne. They're playing it like a grand final. They've beaten the Bombers just once in their last 10 meetings, and they need to score wins against these top teams, give themselves the double chance and the confidence when they go into the finals. Melbourne have been finalists the last 3 years, made the grand final 2 years ago, but they might really become a top contender, and if they win here today, they'll be outright leaders, a game clear of the competition. Socket forward into open spaces. Here's Yates, who with Lovett has been a top defender. Oh, what a mark by Moore. A beauty. Out to Thompson. Back he goes. Madden in trouble to Thompson. Wide for Vanderhaar. Look out, here comes Obst. Good tackling by Obst. Sensational tackling by the Demons.
That was great play by Obst. And Vanderhaar just trying to do too much.
Obst man unmarked. Wilson marks 25 metres from goal.
And to make matters worse, Vanderhaar's injured behind play.
Looks as though he might have twisted his left knee or something in that one.
It was a very bad play, though, wasn't it? That he should have just kicked it out of defence.
Well, he got around once, didn't he? Then he just tried to do too much.
I think you can do that when you're 19 years of age, Bernie.
Yeah, well, what's Vanderhaar, 32 now?
Brian Wilson going for goal number 1 for him. Disappointing from there. But boy, it's a handy lead, isn't it?
Vanderhaar coming off, Drew, and Bradley Plain coming on.
Terry Danaher now at fullback. Anthony Danaher has been moved from that position, obviously. Can't get his boot to ball. Here come Melbourne again. Grinter, a quick kick. Up in front of goal. Punched away by O'Brien. Grabbed by Steins. Steins hooks it back and has missed. The crowd, they've been outplayed today. Oh, that is a very, very good mark by Andrew Obst. In front of the Melbourne members stand. They roar, and no wonder that was a top mark.
In front of big Simon Madden, who showed a little bit of frustration there.
Obst has been a very good player today as he sets it up in front of goal. Oh, nearly a mark taken up there too for the Demons. Steins was the flyer. There's Lovell shuffling it out to Stephen Clark. Clark on the left foot. He might have kicked another one. He has. 15-7, the Demons are
goals to 1 in this third quarter. Under 2.5 minutes remaining. Out of the middle, a lucky kick on the chest of Lovell. He goes wide. Newport kept his eyes on the ball but got barreled. Comes to Spawn, off to Thompson. Essendon need a goal or 2 perhaps before the break. Hand pass by Plain is blocked by Stretch. Ground level again. Lovett in the back. Free kick.
Well played, Lovett.
Best man in the ground in my book.
9 marks, 7 kicks and 13 handballs make it 8 kicks. But not a good one this time, and that's a free kick in the back to Kickett. He wants to go on quickly. Anthony Danaher well up the ground. Now Kickett has tripped the Melbourne player, and the kick's been reversed. It comes back to Phoebe.
Gee, that's a waste.
Well, it's not their day, Essendon. Phoebe to half forward. Steins cleverly over to Lovell. Lovell onto the left foot. An open goal. Kicks it. It's another one to the Demons. Great football. He's kicked 3 in.
That's a great mark by Darren Bennett, using his body well against Terry Danaher. Good strength there, both players battling each other, and Bennett just with the greater strength and better positioning.
Well, Bennett's kicked 3 goals too. And that's 4.
Today's match is part of the CUB.
Essendon came back a little bit in the last quarter, but Melbourne ran out winners by 27 points. Bennett kicked 4, Lovell, O'Dwyer and Clark 3 each, but Clark injured his knee, and I don't like his chances for the rest of the season. And Essendon, Terry Danaher, in his first game of the season, kicked 3 goals. So it was a magnificent victory to the Demons, who had only won 1 match against Essendon in the last 5 years, and that'll be important to them going into the final series if they can be there. But they're now on top of the ladder, the only unbeaten team.